Now, sports with Garrett Brown.
High-stakes high school football games that will likely determine their league winners this late in the season. And since it's Halloween, it's only right to start things off with the orange and black. The Grand Junction Tigers taking on the Sand Creek Scorpions. The 4A I-25 League, well, it all comes down to this matchup. Two teams entered Stoker Stadium with perfect league records, and only one would come out with said record intact. Tigers come flying out of the tunnel in those holiday-appropriate colors, and they made things really spooky for the Scorpions offense early on in this run. The run-heavy Scorpions looking to catch the Tigers sleeping, and they're going to try to attack the Junction defense here through the air. Scorpion quarterback Ethan Mangrum drops back, but it's Colton Music who makes the play, and on a bad note for the visiting team, interception Tigers, and they're primed to do some damage on offense. They don't take too long to make Sand Creek pay for that miscue. Applegate hands it off to Matthias Martinez, but no, that's a flea flicker back to Applegate, who rears back and connects with Mason Anderson downfield. Touchdown Tigers. They throw the first punch of this game. If you're expecting to see the Jackalopes normal purple and black, it's going to be a little different. Like we saw in the offseason, they're unveiling a new alternate look and identity, the Grand Junction Humpback Chubs. That was sort of an underground movement for the team for years and years. Well, this year, it's a reality, and they're doing so for a good cause. They're going to be donating proceeds from all of their merch to help local fish hatcheries handle endangered species. Before last night's home opener, I actually spoke to the president of the Jackalopes to talk about what went into bringing this new identity finally to life.
The reaction to us releasing the Humpback Chubs has been overwhelming, and we're so happy that the community has embraced it. And that was the reason why we wanted to do it from the very beginning, was to connect with the community and to try to drive engagement that way. And the response we've received has been overwhelming. So we could not be more thrilled and couldn't be more thankful for the town of Grand Junction and the Grand Valley as a whole.
So like we said, they have a lot of merch. I don't know if you can tell by what I got on now, but if you're looking to stay dry, I'd recommend one of the hats they got here. Like we said, this game is currently in delay and will resume at 7:05 at last announcement. And like I said, maybe come get some of that merch and feel like you're helping a good cause.
Garrett, I think they should have made the hat a fish so it looks like it's eating your head. I don't know, maybe I could do the marketing for that.
I got no complaints.
Okay.
I like this one. I mean, it's keeping me dry. That's what I really like about it.
All right.
Fish love water, but this is getting ridiculous.
Okay, all right, thanks, Garrett.
Talking to Broomfield and people who know that Broomfield team well, they said a couple of things. One, they haven't played a lot of teams that run the option, so that kind of caught them off guard. Two, they outright said they weren't expecting Montrose to play as fast as they did. So remember how I said Montrose kind of punched him in the mouth? Well, after a while, Broomfield kind of had that figured out. They particularly queued up on the run up the gut that the whole Montrose offense is kind of facilitated on, and once they shut that down, Montrose was kind of scrambling. Meanwhile, Broomfield, well, they were surging, particularly on offense, and you kind of started to see the fatigue from a Montrose team that, one, has played a lot of games at this point in the season. They're dealing with a lot of injuries, and also a lot of their star players play both ways on the ball. Broomfield, that's not necessarily the case.
Planning to leave our mark here in Grand Junction and make Matt Toon and everybody who came before these gentlemen really proud, especially, Coach Gene Creek, who started the program.
Well, that was such an action-packed game, Spence. Apparently, we needed to cool off. The sprinkler system snuck up and got us while we were in those highlights. So, busy day of baseball. I could have used a shower. Yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of thankful.
Ended up landing on the Lincoln Park golf course over there in left field. I was going to make the joke whether he's using a pitching wedge or a chipping or a gap wedge to get that to the hole next.
I think he did something I don't see you do it a lot. He actually hit it onto the fairway. So, all right, we're going to wrap up day one of JUCO Live. When we return, don't go anywhere. Hard to beat the Blinn Buccaneers, off-white, royal blue. I'm a sucker for off-white, so.
The Cream City.
Brenham, Texas, Bluebell ice cream. I still can't find the Dr. Pepper float flavor. If anyone from Brenham's watching this, you'll get points from us. We need to find that.
I will tell you, I've had it.
Oh, don't break my heart here.
I went to, I was in Phoenix for a NASCAR race, but I had it. It'll live up to expectations.
Okay, good. Well, after a couple of Western Slope high school football teams got the football season going last week, this week it's a full slate of games, including one team that's looking to bring football in their hometown back from the brink.
Athlete of the Week, sponsored by the law office of Chadwick McGrady.
It's the start of a new era for Olathe Pirates football. Headed into the 2024 season, the Pirates are planning to see a lot more of this and a lot less of this. In 2023, due to the state of the program and the state of high school football in Colorado, Olathe had to make the tough decision to not play a varsity football season.
We were getting done with weights and we had to get our helmets on and we were putting on our pads and stuff to go back to up on the field to practice. And Jaden comes up to me and he's all mad and I'm like, what's wrong? And he's like, we're not going to have a varsity year this year. And I was like, really?
It was just started off as a normal day. We were lifting and then coaches called us into the classroom and we were just sitting there. They were talking to us about it saying, hey, we're not going to have a varsity season, which, I mean, it kind of struck me hard, but I could imagine how hard it could have struck the other seniors last year, considering they didn't get the Friday night lights feeling.
A lot of emotions at Stoker Stadium Friday night with the Palisade Bulldogs paying homage to members of their community whose lives were lost. But for the people in attendance at the game between the Bulldogs and Resurrection Christian, they got to see firsthand how sports can provide hope and bring people together. The Palisade Bulldogs football team were playing for more than just the names and numbers on their jerseys in their game against Resurrection Christian. It was the first Bulldogs home game since a car accident took the lives of 3 people in Palisade. One of them was a CDOT worker, Trent Umberger, whose son, Nathan, is a wide receiver for the Bulldogs. And on the 3rd play of the game, this happened.
There was so much going through my head. I just felt so happy that I scored and in remembrance of him, and I knew he wanted me to be great. I was just thinking to myself, do not drop the wide open pass, and I knew that my dad was there with me the whole time as I was running from the start of the play to running in the end zone.
It just happened. It was a situation where they, what they were giving us dictated that we could throw that, and Nate just happened to be the guy. And then I think there was a meaning behind it, for sure.
Now, sports with Garrett Brown.
This week, Athlete of the Week is admittedly a little different. Instead of one individual Western Slope athlete or team, we focused on a father-son duo that captivated the Western Slope during their historic basketball season.
Athlete of the Week, sponsored by the law office of Chadwick McGrady.
The Fruita Monument boys basketball team had one of the more unforgettable seasons in a while on the Western Slope. And at the center of it all was a head coach in his first season leading the team and his own son emerging as a star for the Wildcats.
Originally when I was contacted, about the position, I wasn't really interested. I had coached both my daughters for their whole high school careers, and, I was kind of ready to be dad and have a different role than I had ever had.
He did a great job with the girls, and we have a fantastic boys program, and I knew he could continue to build on it and take us farther into the Coliseum, which we did this year, and that's what we wanted. And at home, I would make jokes about him being the coach, and every time I'd walk downstairs, I'd be like, what's up, coach? And just making jokes because I wanted to push that and I wanted him to be our coach.
Looked at all the options, eventually I was going to be at the games anyways. I might as well, have a little better seat and be able to hopefully continue to put my stamp on the program like I did with the girls.
Now, sports with Garrett Brown.